So let's watch Andrew Tate leaving DJ Academics speechless, see what he has to say, and then we'll react. Before we carry on, like and subscribe. It really helps us grow, and helps you see more videos. Let's get to it.
More than a bunch of men in one place. It's not women, it's men. If you put enough men on a city square pissed off, a revolution happens. That's what the people in charge of the world are afraid of. So to make sure there's no revolution, what they do is they construct as many divisions amongst the peasants as possible. They make sure the blacks hate the whites, the men hate the women, the Republicans hate the Democrats, and we're all so busy fighting with each other they can laugh from the top because there's not very many of them and there's a bunch of us. I'm telling you, the reason in countries like America, the reason the law is so destructive against men is very, very purposeful. They don't want you to feel like a king. They don't want you to feel powerful. You wake up amongst 3 bitches. If you have fucking 10 sons from 10 baby mamas, you're going to wake up and feel like the man. You ain't taking shit easy. If you wake up on your fucking 3rd year of a sexless marriage, paying taxes, and your kids don't even listen to you, you don't really feel like rebellion. You don't have it inside of you. This is why there's so much fucking male suicide. This is why men are so depressed. This is why everyone's so unhappy, because the life they try and create for men, the things they try and purport, the ideas they try and make us subscribe to are depressing. They want you as a tax slave. They want you as a tax slave. They want you in a sexless marriage with some old fat bitch who hates you. That's what they want. Afraid to leave because they'll take your house and destroy your life's work. And they want you to sit there and pay your taxes until you fucking die. This is all done on purpose. None of this is an accident. It's all very purposeful. And in countries which are not like this, in countries where men still have that masculine essence, in countries where they're still in control of their own household, when the government tries to become tyrannical, it's far more difficult to do because the men get together and say, you know what, women, clean the house. I'll be back in 2 hours. I'm going to tell these guys to get fucked. And that's the reality of it. This is a control mechanism along with everything else. Everything you see on TV, this is my final rant. Everything you see on TV is a control mechanism. All the shit they put on Netflix is a control mechanism. Telling you that you have mental problems you don't have is a control mechanism. Telling you, oh yeah, you can't focus on anything for 2 minutes because you have ADHD, or you're depressed and you can never fix it. They're trying to control you. They're trying to dampen your life force. Making sure your woman doesn't listen to you is a control mechanism. Making sure you can never leave her without being financially destroyed is a control mechanism. It's all control mechanisms, all of it from head to toe. You have to resist the slave mind. You have to look at it all and understand they are trying to make a slave of you. And when I say slave, I do not mean slave likely. I mean the word slave. They are printing money from the sky and you're giving up your life for it. If they can create something in unlimited amounts anytime they want, and you'll give up your life and time for that said thing, you are their slave. They don't need to use power and control and whips anymore. They just have the money print button. It's slavery. And they need to make sure that even if you know that, you don't feel powerful enough to do anything about it. All of this, every single thing about the modern world was deliberately constructed to get us to a point where they can come along and lock you in your house for something with a 99.9% survival rate, and you're going to sit there and take it like a bitch anyway. That's what all this shit is, including being in a position where you can't even tell your own woman she's not allowed out with her friends to get fucking drunk with a bunch of dudes, because you're not even allowed to do that. If a wife comes home and goes, I want to go out drinking tonight, you go, you're not fucking going nowhere. Oh, I want to go out with my friends from work. You're not going out with them men. That's coercive and controlling behavior. Bro, you can't even tell your bitch not to go get fucking drunk with dudes.
They'll call that abusive.
You're an abusive misogynist. You're Andrew Tate. Cancel him. It's insanity. And it's all done on purpose. I don't want anyone to sit here and think this is some accident we've arrived at, or that we're here now and it's no big deal. This is very, very purposeful, because when you destroy the warriors of a society, that's how you usher in slavery. First thing the Romans did when they conquered the Greeks is kill all the warriors, all the fighting age males. You leave the soy boys and the bitches, and then you can conquer it. Done. That's what they're doing to us. They're trying to destroy the warriors. So my G's, the ones who are left, don't worry about fucking some pussy. We got bigger fights coming up. We got bigger wars coming ahead of us. So if you want to fuck some pussy, go fuck it. Because I really believe the next 10 years are going to be difficult for men of stature. I really believe that. So that's my final speech.
So what he said was really interesting. I think the biggest hate that Andrew Tate gets is not because of the things that he says. I think people look at his demeanor, look at who he is, and get upset with the fact that he's saying these things, don't really understand it, don't listen to it objectively without having hate for him for whatever reason it is. I think people assume he's a misogynist for some reason, and then everything else he says they don't believe has any value at all. So breaking down what he said, I'll keep it really, really short. I think he's totally right. The basis of what he's saying is completely correct, in my opinion. Of course, we will never be able to prove it because we'll never be able to see the documents that the governments and everything have. But everything they've created, look at the United States, where during lockdown, where people weren't allowed to leave their houses in New York, The people who were protesting the Black Lives Matter were still allowed out, and no one did anything about it. It created social, political, and economic unrest. People were told to stay at home because of this virus, and look, people, and they just accepted it. And then we were told that we weren't allowed to speculate about where and how this virus came about. And now we're being told that all the theories that we had previously regarding COVID, that people were saying it was released out of a lab in Wuhan. Everyone was saying, no, that's racist. The Chinese government wouldn't do that. We can't speculate to that extent. It's all been proven pretty much completely correct. So it is a way of keeping people down. I don't know to what extent the conspiracy extends, but it is a way of keeping people like me and you down. If large amounts of the population start believing one thing, start gaining power financially and politically, and don't agree with the political elite and the financial elite that currently exists now in our nations, that's a really big problem for them, because they do make money off the division that we have. Republicans hating Democrats and vice versa. You see Democrats moving further to the left. Is that the left? This is my left hand. Further to the left, and getting in more hatred for it. There's more political division, more financial division. Now they're trying to say that our countries are racist, totally disregarding racisms and injustices that have happened in the past in third world and African and Middle Eastern nations. And saying we are the bad guys, and it's hard just to be a man at this point, and I think that's where he's getting at it. It's all to push you down. If you don't have the financial resources or the mental fortitude to fight against what's been told to you in the media, then they're going to win every single time. So I think that's a very, very interesting point, and this is coming from someone who isn't a conspiracy theorist, who isn't crazy, who doesn't spend his days researching this stuff in hopes of finding some alternate theory to reality. I'm well educated, well knowledged. I read a lot of newspapers, a lot of news reports. I try and get a broad basis of all the information that I can, and I come to my own conclusions. And this is the conclusion that I've come to. I think that Andrew Tate is very influential because the things that he says are genuinely true, objectively, and those who subjectively hate him either have their own agenda, are purporting this agenda to make the masses dislike him and then invalidate his views, and it's just keeping people down from what they're actually able to achieve. So I would really suggest having a look at the things he says, look at them objectively. Don't have hate in your heart when you listen to him. He makes a lot of very, very good points. And let me ask you a question. Why would you mistrust him, who's not a member of the establishment, but somehow trust a politician who has an agenda to put forward that will either get him elected or protect the elites that are paying him or her to be in power? Why would you mistrust him and trust? Why would you mistrust Andrew Tate and trust Joe Biden? Why would you mistrust Andrew Tate and trust the Romanian justice system, which you know prior to the Andrew Tate arrest, you probably already had it in your heart, already had it in your mind that probably Romania wasn't the most forward country in terms of open politically, in terms of the media. You probably knew they were somewhat corrupt. But now that they've arrested Andrew Tate, you're on their side. Yeah, he should have been arrested. He probably did do what he did. But you knew they were corrupt prior. So why do you not believe they're corrupt in the arrest of Andrew Tate? Have a think about that. That's my opinion. Thank you very much for listening to my opinion. This is just, again, my opinion. Don't take anything I say as fact. This is sort of more opinion-based journalism, if you want to call it that. Subscribe, like the video, but more than anything, subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be releasing much more, even reaction videos and sort of breakdown political, social analyses of what's currently going on in the world. So especially with big media figures like Andrew Tate, for example. So give us a like and subscribe. It really helps our channel, and it helps you see more entertaining media on a regular basis. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.